Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Press R. We are 1 week away from Back to School 2025-2026. This new school year opens in a hot political period, 1 month ahead of October 12 presidential poll. Cameroon has survived several socio-political setbacks, and we humbly think that the high level of education of the citizens is a leading factor. Today on Press R, we should focus on the role of private education in Cameroon. And to talk about this, ladies and gentlemen, we have invited just the type of panelists that you expect to have on the set. Mrs. Ndong Nzenyawa Nzenyaha Nambi is the principal of Esperance International Complex, Bastos in Yaoundé. Help me pronounce that name well, please.
Zenyanga.
Zenyanga, thank you so much. You're welcome to Press R.
Thank you so much, Mr. Killian.
Yes, we have another principal, Mr. Kayaka Edward, who is the principal of Christian Comprehensive Secondary School, CCSS in Kombong in Yaoundé. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, my brother Killian.
Yes, Mr. Vuben Jones is the president of the Cameroon Digital Education Network, CDEN. Welcome, Jones.
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to be here this afternoon.
Yes, and Mr. Obisi Pren Tiamba is the desk editor in the Guardian Post newspaper. Obi, welcome.
Thank you, Killian. It's a pleasure being here once again.
Pleasure shared, and we're going to set the program rolling as usual with our slot press review. Emanuela Bemni read the newspapers. Emanuela.
As the build-up to the October presidential race narrows, so too are presidential contenders narrowing in on voters. Cameroon Insider headlines: October 12 presidential election, candidates touch base with grassroots. The SDF candidate Joshua Osi tells the Sun newspaper, "I am ready and well on track," as he presents his political, economic and social program, before an expert in the horizon describes Honorable Osi's program as only viable alternative. Akere Muna of Niver Party then lays out sweeping reforms in first 100 days at the presidency in The Voice, indicating a 5-year transition plan. Bello Buba Maigari then mobilizes Adamawa behind him in Newsherb as Ateki Seta Caxton is reported on a working visit in Bamenda in Larry Times, during which he installed PAL regional team and vows to secure victory. At a time, Biya is comforted in Cameroon Tribune as Constitutional Council dismisses case brought against him by barrister Akere Muna. The same Biya whose re-election bid gets big boosts in their indigenous in Barombe villages, reassuring PM Dion Gute of 100% vote for Biya in Cameroon echoes. But the Voice newspaper wants to know if Cameroon opposition is foolish or asphyxiated. Breaking news Bileng rather questions: on October 12, who will you be voting for and why? Before Biya urges youths in Cameroon Insider to vote responsibly. Happening when social dialogue of actors in the electoral process continues. In Cameroon Tribune, Elekam finalizes division of supervisory commission and dispatches ballot boxes in the median. Away from politics, experts have been drumming the need to develop and preserve the Bimbia slave trade site in the Guardian Post. Municipal Updates reports that it was during the International Day of Slave Trade Remembrance that Culture Minister Bidunkwat and Gilgal Tolls crusade Bimbia site preservation, just like the Bakosi culture with its cultural festival set to flag off in grand style in Eco Outlook. The Ultimate informs that it is the maiden edition of the Bakosi culture and arts that come alive for 4 days under the patronage of Elumpo Chair. Just when everyone is reportedly towing the line in the fight against corruption in Cameroon Tribune, Cameroon Insider indicates that CONAC's corruption status report shows financial losses drop, yet the vice is still pervasive. To the Guardian Post, Cameroon lost over 4 billion CFA francs to corruption in 2024, a drastic drop, according to the paper. Resources that could be directed to boost healthcare as government pushes for modern healthcare, with oxygen storage plants being inaugurated in the Eden newspaper. Public Health Minister Manau Damalashi inaugurates medical oxygen storage plant in the Limbe Regional Hospital in the Dawn. The Sun precises that it is the first liquid oxygen storage facility in Limbe. Before back-to-school preparations pick up steam, with a cabinet meeting for August chaired by Prime Minister Joseph Dion Ngute emphasizing on digitization and entrepreneurship in Cameroon Tribune, Honorable Findi and indigenous associations donate to learners in Moyoka and municipal updates. Then the Santa Caucus Award celebrates excellence by rewarding hardworking students in the horizon. Ikondo Titi traditional ruler Chief Nawango Manfred, on his part, gives financial assistance to students and pupils in Cameroon Acres to boost back to school. Before the army reportedly rescues 15 hostages kidnapped along Marwa Kuseri Road in the Median, gunmen attack Roba Estate and kill CDC worker, a soldier, and injured others in the Guardian Post. Until I come your way again, this is your Hour with the Press.
Thank you so much, Emanuela. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Press Hour, and we are broadcasting live from Studio 4 of CRTV Production Center and Balatu in Yaoundé. Obi Swipren, you followed that press review. You are just back from a visit, working visit with the Minister of Finance to the far north. What was the event? And the coming back of the minister produced some sparks. Tell us, what was the event?
That's exactly what captured my attention during the press review. Mutazier's fanfare reception in Marwa on that day when he arrived on the 26th of August. It was really what turned out to what was just an event to go and inaugurate trade centers was turned into a political atmosphere. The political atmosphere was lively to a point where Sons of the Soil described Minister Mutazier as the beloved son of the Grand North. So they call him the beloved son of the Grand North. And those of some Cameroonians who have been lucky to travel from Yaoundé by road to Marwa, away from the exertion and the tiredness, will appreciate that it gives an opportunity to see how blessed this country is in terms of nature. We saw in Marwa, we saw living together in harmony and peace for reality. The cultural mix, our diversity was portrayed during that visit. And Mutazier was welcome everywhere, like the son of the soil.
Yeah, I visited the far north once with the minister. And when they say the son of the soil, I think you should understand he's also the son-in-law of the far north. But there was another aspect of that event that was politicized that led to protests.
That's exactly what I was saying, that maybe some politicians in the far north, it's a political period, very, very lively as it is. And the steam will keep on hitting until the ultimate date of 12 October. So I wasn't surprised that some politicians tried to use it and to make a political capital out of the visit. But I can assure you, I lived it until that same day, how the Sons, everybody trooped to have an audience with the minister. The minister had spent between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. of the 26th of August. Minister Mutazier received all sections of youth, the youth wing, the women's wing, all political associations, all associations that are related. He granted them audience.
Yes. Yeah. Now, we should just remark that where the problem came in was with one of the Lamidos. That's one of the traditional rulers of the Marwa and the outskirts of Marwa, Meskin, where the Lamido of Meskin expected the minister to come to his Lamida. The minister didn't go there because the minister did not go to any traditional ruler. He received all of them, as you say, in Marwa. So this traditional ruler expected the minister to come. The minister did not come because we are told that there was a request for the minister to visit his Lamida, but it was not included in the minister's agenda. That's why he didn't go. And we know this is a very hot political period. Some political parties capitalized on that to do what was done. Actually, the truth is that it was not on the minister's agenda to go there. And now, some other issue that came up in the press review. You want to make a remark on that before you talk about one other issue?
Yes. The situation at hand now is that most people want to use every opportunity to politicize events. The minister's visit was not a political visit. He went to inaugurate the plant there, and it did not need any political gimmicks around it. I think we should be very tactful within this period not to take any issue related to politics. What the minister went for
was to inaugurate border trade centers.
To inaugurate border trade centers.
Where in those trade centers that we expand to the rest of the country, all the customs duties that will be collected from those centers, 40% will go directly to the councils.
And so this is not a political move.
Exactly. So you have a word on that? No. Another issue that came up, 2 minutes in the press review.
Yes, thank you. Well, just to say regarding this situation, we understand that this is the time where each political party is clamoring to get to hold voters to their side, so they can always make use of any least opportunity that they see to politicize things in this country, which therefore means that our leaders and our government officials should always make sure they don't keep those loopholes that will attract this kind of people to make use of those kind of opportunities. The minister was there for a government issue. He was not there like a political person. Yeah, he was not going there on behalf of CPDM or whatever, but we just want to plead that our Cameroonian citizens should equally learn how to understand these things, and like the Bible says, that you know the truth and the truth shall set you free. So we should always act based on truth.
I followed some of your outings on social media, and I know you are behind some of the political candidates for the election. If you were the one, will you not use it in favor of your candidate?
Well, that's why I said that our leaders should not give room for such activities like this.
Okay.
Else, we'll always make use of it and to yield our voters.
Thank you. Yes.
Just to cue that, I think leaders are supposed to be apolitical.
Exactly.
And when they start having leanings on particular parties or particular associations, it creates a whole lot of problems for the entire clan or for the entire nation, because people will now be divided. I believe that if our hierarchy, that's beginning from the ministers right down to directors, to even traditional rulers, if they stay clear of leanings, it's going to help a lot, because everybody would know that we are doing our work and we go to our ministers or our traditional rulers for blessings. Not they meddling, because it brings them down to a level which is not very appreciated. They should keep their standards.
That's true.
They are advisors. They are custodians of. Yes.
Now, you make me laugh a bit, all of you, because what we follow within this time, the campaigns for the 2025, October 12, 2025 presidential poll will begin on the 27th of September. But what I know now is that every figure, official figure that goes out, tells their people something about politics. So are you saying that they should not talk about politics?
Mr. Kina, I think they should
all of you, that's what all of you are saying.
They should talk about politics, but not with particular leanings. they could have the supported political parties in their minds, and it is expressed only in the ballot box. Because as a ruler, if I come out to say I am for this party, it's inevitable that my people will want to give me the pleasure, make me feel good by leaning behind me or by lining up behind me. So we should
Sipan,
try to
how
avoid
will
that.
you, as a minister in this country, director, she talked about, go to your village today and not talk about politics?
That is exactly what I wanted to say. If you understand what politics means, then you will know that it is a crude and, bizarre game. Survival of the fittest. So everybody looks for the slightest opportunity to make capital and position his or herself.
Okay.
So you can never tell a politician to go somewhere and not make an impact and try to steal the show. It's difficult for him. Then he's not a politician.
But Cyprian just said here that the minister received between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m.
Yes.
political leaders
Yes.
from of all political parties.
Yes.
So where was he leaning?
I said
He's
the
still
political
above.
elite, the political
Okay.
elite
Elites of all parties.
of
Yes,
the
of
region,
course,
of
of
the
course.
north.
All
Yes,
parties,
yeah.
right?
Of course.
He communed with virtually every
Good.
sector.
So he stayed above.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to move on
Can I
to...
just
Yes.
say something on that? Yeah, I just wanted to say something on that, to say, these are government officials. When you're going, I wonder our leaders should be able to demarcate their outings as a minister and as a political party
Campaigner,
member doing something. When you take state resources for an official issue and then you want to use that opportunity to talk about, the Cameroonians will not take it lightly. So I would rather prefer that you go out as a minister, do your work as a minister, come
what
back,
happened. Yeah,
keep
indeed.
whatever belongs to the state, take your private road with your private stuff, go up there now as
A
elite
campaigner.
in a political party and do your work. That will be very clear. Everybody will understand that, okay, here you are coming as a party member. So when you go out there, we see you as a leader, as a minister for everybody.
Yes.
So there should be no preferences. The minister should not even talk about anything concerning party.
That's exactly
Thank you.
The
How
party
possible-
members
how
should not
possible
even
is
come
this,
out.
I'm laughing because it's difficult in our present context to decipher the waterline, tight line between your political leaning and your official duties.
But it's possible.
Particularly, it's difficult. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's difficult
doable.
to separate your political leaning from your ministerial portfolio because it's the same party that brought you into that office is working under the banner of a particular party. And so such sentiments must naturally come in sometime. We are human.
But we should
pipe
downplay
them down
Thank
and
you.
downplay on them.
Thank you so much. And at this moment, we're going to move on to our focus. It is what is the role of private education in the whole educational system in Cameroon? I have two principals from two private schools, and we're going to start with the place of education in the campaign program of the political leaders, those who are running for the 2025 presidential election. Do you see them actually highlighting education in their political outings? I'm going to start with you, Jones. And what should they do? Because education is actually, we said earlier in our intro here, that you see Cameroon has survived so many setbacks.
Exactly.
We think that it's the level of education that Cameroonians have, that sometimes you cannot just move the people to go out to the streets, for example, or to, square them from one side to the other without them thinking that, well, what do we gain from this? Where does this take us to? And I think it's that level of education that makes us, up to today, my humble opinion, not to be in a kind of quagmire. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for this question. This is coming at a time when all of us who have been actor in the educational sector, I've been an actor in the educational sector for close to 10 years. Right now, I've been teaching since 2015 to today. And I think in one way or the other, I can say I've mastered it. I have a good understanding about our educational system in Cameroon. And being the president of the Cameroon Digital Education Network, we are trying to see how we can move teachers from their normal, regular classroom teaching to go digital. And if we see the theme and the mission or the objective of Madam the Minister of Secondary Education, like she said, she wants to see, her dream is to see every child has a laptop, which is what we want. The children cannot have the laptops and the teachers cannot teach them these things. Now, bringing in the context of the political system where we have the presidential candidates going round, I've closely monitored them just to say, if any political party or a candidate wants to really make this country to emerge, if the educational sector is not highlighted at the top of the agenda, then we are certain to still remain where we are. According to the UNESCO statistics, Cameroon literacy rate is roughly around 75% for now, which is not what it's supposed to be. We have African countries at 90% that are going. What is happening to Cameroon? We are seeing the system where our teachers in the late 1990s, the same system that they used to teach us is the same system that we are using this time around to teach, which is not moving. We should be able to copy from other countries like Finland that has one of the best world-best educational system. And with the political candidates, when you look at, I'm not here for political campaigns or whatever.
We're talking about the agenda of the political leaders. You can factor that in.
Yes. So I'm saying that when you look at the agenda, someone like Pal Ateki Seta, he has really capitalized so much on this educational stuff.
Now, what he's saying about education?
What he wants is to get educational sector to, first of all, be liberal at the level of each regions. You should be able to manage freely your educational system under the same curriculum that it's given by the central body of the government. Now, how do you want to use that system to make sure that the children of your zone, your region, are well equipped with the knowledge that is required? It is part of the program which he has listed out there. So we've seen other people like Joshua Osi that have come out with their own programs, and we really appreciate the work that's what they are giving out. My question now is, looking at the present situations, how can we pick it up from here to make it work?
How can we pick it up? That question you should answer.
With the difficulties that we have, talking about the role of private educations, we have seen where, for now, it is really evident that the government is lax with the educational sector, private sector especially. There's been no close follow-up. We don't have most of the private schools are part of the mission schools. They really do not have the real infrastructures that are needed to train these children. We have a lot of mushroom schools out there, which is hindering the knowledge that is supposed to be given out.
Government, you are talking about the minister. She closed about 150 schools, clandestine schools this year. That's follow-up.
We closed a lot of schools last year, but we still saw those schools operating. They were still operating. So what is the government putting in place to make sure that those schools that are closed should be closed completely?
Well, they will tell you that when they are closed for lack of certain things, they provide those things in due course and they're open. Anyway, your point is made, Mr. Kayaka. Yes. What should the political party leaders running for the 2025 presidential election highlight in education?
Thank you very much. I want to strongly believe that the backbone of any nation is when you educate the young population to be able to take over from the older generation. But when you have a situation where the younger generation don't have access to quality education, it becomes difficult to prepare a better nation. I want to think that the political parties clamoring for elections in October 2012 of October 2025 should focus on education as their priority before any other area of state development, because a successful person without a successor is a failure. So they need to prepare the educational agenda into consideration the public sector and the private sector
partners.
as partners, because the private sector is rendering public service as private partners. The services that are rendered by the public school are equally the same services rendered by the private sector. So in their political agenda, they should see that there's a gap, bridge that gap between the private sector and the public sector, so as to give equal opportunity for children to be educated across the board, irrespective of whether they are in the public school or in the private school.
Yes, bridge the gap with what?
Now, one of the ways to bridge the gap is a financial touch. Because teachers of the private sector depend only on the fees collected by the proprietors and the little payment that are dished out to them. But in other countries, you see that the private sector, since they are doing the same services, the subsidies from the state could go in an area where the teachers have almost equal payment for the work they are doing. I know that the government gives a state subvention for teacher salary, but I bet you the state subvention cannot go even for a month's salary for the regular teachers of the private sector.
We are told you've talked about quality. You have also talked about finances, proprietors giving the teachers peanut salaries, for example. Let's call that. But what we know is that the government is not responsible, because in private schools today, multiply, let's say, the average fee that a pupil pays is 200,000 times 500 students. Yes. That's an average. Then if you multiply this and the proprietor does not pay the teachers well, the problem is not government. The problem is the proprietor. Just multiply. This is just an example.
I understand you. You know that the labor code in Cameroon gives a negotiation between the proprietor and the employer on the basic salary. I think if the minimum salary is set at a certain level, that debate will not even come in as to whether it's a state school or a private school. And since we're rendering the same services, the government should, there are two types of schools I want to mention. There are state schools and there are private schools, but there are private schools where the state has a control over, where the state now sets the fee, unlike the purely private schools where the proprietors set the fee. Some proprietors do it exorbitantly because they are going in for business. But those who go in for the mission of bringing up the children don't look very much at the fee, they look but more at what the children stand to gain.
What is the situation of your school?
No, my situation, my school, CCSS Colmbong, is founded on biblical principles of faith, where the proprietors, the owners of the school, need to transform their faith into concrete action. That is why the fee is not that much, but they break even and are able to pay teachers comfortably all through the year.
That much is how little?
The much of the amount of money.
Yeah, you say it's not much.
Yeah, it's a boarding school, and you know the present economic situation of the country.
And you would not like to answer that question. You know that, yes, you also are a principal of a private school, but you link that up with what your school is doing. But what will you like these political party leaders who are running for the presidential election this year to do so that education is better in Cameroon?
Thank you, Mr. Killen. What I want to suggest is that they do everything such that many students are not left uneducated. You would bear with me, or you want to believe that this year, 2024, 2025, there are about 118,000 students in private schools. 118,000 students in private schools. And when you take this number, you'll see that it is an indication that the government cannot absorb all these children into state schools. So the fact that the private institutions are doing a lot of work absorbing this many children who cannot be admitted into public schools is really laudable. So anybody who is seeking political support should first of all look at the fact that if these children had a way to get into public schools and be comfortably taught, trained to come out, then the private schools will not, like you say, exorbitant fees, will not even have that chance to levy that on any parent. But you see that when it is stated that we don't want more than 60 in a classroom, for example, in Form 1 and CCM, and you don't want this here, where would the children go to? Because of the crisis in the other regions of Cameroon, many children have come into Yaoundé, and they all want to go to school, but the schools cannot absorb them. So the private school system is only an arm of the state, helping out the state in taking these children, training them. And I want to tell you, Mr. Killan, that until 2019, there was no English-speaking technical college in Yaoundé.
But today?
That's until 2019.
Yes.
It is after 2019 that the lycée techniques and all these other ones were transformed now into bilingual technical schools. So if you ask before then, all parents took their children from here, sent them to the regions where technical education was carried out. And we know that it is this technical education which gives the children the opportunity to have hands-on. There are schools that have been opened out for beauty, as beauty salons, hairdressing salons, hotel management, and all. Most of them are private, and the children come out of there and they are able to manage their lives. So, if the government reduces the number of children that they take in, if they reduce the number of children that are left out unadmitted into state schools, it's going to close down effectively many of the private schools. He just said that many schools were closed down, and you said, and they come back. They come back. Some of them, like you said, do not even furnish whatever. My school is officially known by the state, recognized, and we take in the children because we think that they need to grow spiritually. Our school is based on religious principles.
Which school is that?
Esperance Complex of Bastos. It's better known in French. That's a Complexe Scolaire Bilingue International Esperance, Mini Prix Bastos. My school is set on religious principles, and we inculcate in the children the need to grow. They need to become people in whom people will have confidence. And my founders, the founders of my school, have done everything to see that the children all have computers. Every child has a computer because it is very important.
Now, it's good that you are bringing in the moral aspect of education. But each time we talk about the moral aspect of education, and you sit down, fold your arms, and you do not do anything for religious studies to be included in competitive exams and the rest, because they say requirements to get into, for example, professional schools, jobs, they say excluding religious knowledge. So what are you doing? You're just there as
Mr. Killan, I think that what all of us are talking on this panel is making an appeal to the state, that a state that does not know God is training clever devils. Because there is no need for the Cameroon GCE board to include religion at both ordinary and advanced levels.
You are part of the state.
I'm part of the state. My tiny voice is shouting here on this stage that religious knowledge being taught at these levels should be recognized. Because if they would take in children with say two papers at the A levels, say for example economics and religious knowledge, and other children start seeing this, I think that
they'll have interest in doing religious studies.
And we cannot be saying that we have the fear of God when we have made the children know that there is nothing as that.
Is not important.
In my school, the children are spoken to, they are punished. We may not use the cane because we don't, but there is no child who will do something and go scot-free. If a child becomes pregnant in my school, we don't even ask the child to go. The parents just withdraw that child because they know that it is a nasty example for other young girls to follow. But
yeah, you withdraw the girl, the boy continues in that school.
If the boy happens to be a student of that school, the boy will also be withdrawn. Because it doesn't set a good example. But in many schools today, you find girls of Form 3 with long stomachs, and the parents are the first to come and say, Madame the Minister a dit que mon enfant doit fréquenter jusqu'à il part en congé de maternité. So what do the other young ones of 14, 15 do? I want to tell you that for the past 2 years, schools have witnessed a very high
indiscipline
and rate of
pregnancies.
pregnancies.
Yes, that's true.
I don't think that we can blame the minister. The fact that
We are blaming the system.
Yes.
Well, not blaming the minister.
My dear brother, insofar as we are blaming the system and glamoring that the political aspirants should put on the agenda issues that have to do with education, I think the moral core of education, the core of education should be the morality of the children.
Yes.
As you said, if you train Cameroonians and they are successful and their morals are lacking, then we have only prepared a clever, devilish society for Cameroon. So the religious studies as a subject, the politicians that are coming up, even if they're incumbent or so, when they come in, they should look at that issue of relegating religious studies to the background when it comes to entrance into public schools or entrance into professional schools.
Yes.
Religious studies is a moralizing factor in the school system, and we think that it should play an important role in our country, Cameroon. Though it's a secular state, but religious study is necessary to prepare us to come out of this quagmire. So
yeah, I don't think that the problem is
that.
religious studies. You can have discipline in school that is not even a denominational school, without even religious knowledge per se.
They are
as
linking
a
to
matter.
civic education.
Yes, you go for discipline, which goes across the board.
And
Because
which links to the Bible.
Yes, but
Or the
we
Quran.
go more for discipline.
Quran.
Yeah, we go more for discipline than religious studies.
Discipline relates to the Quran and to the Bible. Like Proverbs says, when you spare the rod, you spoil the child. Which means that even in countries or states like Pennsylvania State, they tell you that if you spare the rod, you are spoiling the child. There is no teacher who wants to beat a child to kill. I think that if a child, for example, a child in class 2 primary knows that my palm will be whipped if I refuse doing my assignment, that child will do it.
Of course.
But there's no child today you even say kneel down. The child looks at you to your eyes and says, I'm not kneeling down. I have pain on my knees. The next you want to talk, the parents come to insult.
Exactly.
Well, no one can defend that type of thing. You made mention of something earlier about a pregnant girl in school. That's a very sensitive issue. It's something that should be well debated and a decision taken. Yes. If it were your girl, Madame Nambi, if it were your girl, she gets pregnant, will you not allow that girl to be given an opportunity to continue her education? Is becoming pregnant a crime?
It is not a crime, but it's a deterrent to good behavior to other children. If my daughter, luckily enough, they have all grown and they are, yes, they are all matured now, and there's none from whom I'll be afraid of pregnancy. If any of my nieces becomes pregnant in my house, and I notice, I will withdraw that child
and kill her.
I will not kill her education.
You've killed her education.
Pregnancy is 9 months. She's not going to bring forth a snake. I will take care of her while trying to rebuild her morals and making her prepared to be stronger.
But some of those pregnant girls have excelled in exams with the Tommies.
Mr. Gila,
yes.
I will just say now that you are supporting the fact that girls should go in for teenage sex.
I cannot. I cannot support it. But when it happens as an accident, we should manage it as an accident.
That is why I will keep my child at home just for the 4 months.
We should not kill the girl,
back to school.
the girl's education.
I'm not killing it.
Please permit me. I just want to say, the Bible says, where there are no laws, there is no sin. That's the first thing I want to. Let's look at it. When you give opportunities for things like this, you are telling the people, the students, that they are free to do it. But when you put the laws, for instance, look at the Islam religion. They have some of those restricted laws that keeps their unmarried, that's ladies who are not married, away from men that they are not married and sex. I want to believe that the time will start setting some of these rules clear that if you do this, this is what's going to happen to you. You are not supposed to go to school because you are pregnant, or you got a lady pregnant, and it is clear they will not even involve in it. But when you keep it liberal and then you start pampering, it is that pampering that leads to all of these things we'll find ourselves today.
Thank you. I will not say anything again. Cyprian, the role of private education?
Actually, I'm happy that a topic like this is coming up, the role of private education in Cameroon. For me, there's nothing to applaud as far as private education in Cameroon is concerned. Because all the evils and all the ills we blame in the other system are multiplied and extrapolated in the private sector. Yes. Buying of certificate, private education in Cameroon has become a lucrative business where people go there not because they want to educate young Cameroonians, prepare young Cameroonians for the future, but to make business, make money. I mean, your turnover is what they call it.
What you mean is that the proprietors pay more attention to money.
They pay more attention to making money, and rather than set standards, show example to the public sector. This is what we want. They've turned it into.
I have a
contrary.
Yes, I want to think that
a lucrative business
is an
where certificates are sold.
It's an overstatement.
It's for to the highest bidder.
Mr. Obi,
pay this amount and you get a position.
The private schools do not give certificates.
Yes.
All private schools offer the same services that public schools offer.
Yes.
They write the end of course exams that is set by the GC board or the back board.
Yes.
They do not on themselves set certificates and dish out certificates to the highest bidder. I think that's an overstatement. I rather think that the private sector helps to provide a conducive atmosphere for parents to have a one-on-one with the teachers to educate their children.
And then money exchanges hands.
No, the end of course certificate is what determines the value of
if your certificates were of value, Cameroonians who are educated will not be outward focused.
So who's responsible for the certificate, sir?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's not the private sector that's responsible for certifying
politicians who are aspiring to lead us.
Then the blame should not be on private. The blame should not be on private education.
If you are saying our education has a problem, we don't have an educational system. An educational system reflects on the society in which it finds itself. If Cameroon is what it is today, it is thanks to a decadent educational system.
No, I want to say something.
Which is not the educational system.
I'm not only talking about the private
school as an educational system.
The private educational system.
Now, let me ask Cyprian a very simple question.
Yes.
You say Cameroon does not have an educational system. What
I say is in shambles.
How do you mean?
It's dilapidated. What I mean is that if an educational system is the reflection of this, if you look at Cameroonian society today, the way it is, you know that there's something wrong with the educational system, because an educational system that does not focus, an educational system that does not focus on making sure that does not see the citizen as a key component in the development process is not what it solves. And then that is why people come out with certificates today and then they are useless and they are all going away. Some of them they want those certificates to go and occupy a post in a government office so that they steal, not even to work. Some of them get their matricle and they are abroad and they are earning the salary flowing here. And
that to be blamed on the private sector.
Our education should make us willing to stay here and develop our country.
Exactly.
Yes,
we are
responsibility
of running away for who to come and develop Cameroon.
Just hold on.
If Cameroon has to develop, it is we who are responsible. And the bad educational system cannot position us in a place to develop our nation. The decadence is a reflection of the educational system.
Responsibility of private education.
I'm not exactly what I said. The system.
That's what you said.
We started off.
No, we're not going back to what
independence. There was private education. So the private education was in Cameroon before the public education. And if the private education have not been able to direct the government, this is the standards we want. This is the quality of education we want. We are all
the government.
If these people have all worked in the government too,
just hold on.
They have all been government workers.
Cyprian, please. Calm down. We understand your anger.
So they said that the problem is the educational system. We have a problem. Unless we correct the fact
just hold on.
We focus on developing Cameroonians who love their country and who are ready to stay here and build this country and develop this country.
Exactly.
We are wasting our time. Whatever education, whether it's public or private education. And so far it has been a failure.
Now, when you speak, listen to others speak. But before the others speak on this subject that you've made so emotional, let me ask you this question and answer it sincerely. Do you know that Cameroonians who live, those you say are going out, when they go out there, they are the best around the world? That is from our educational system. The products that Cameroon turns out in education are the best around the world.
And then why do they prefer to go and be the best there and they cannot be the best?
No. That's, you are answering another question. Answer that question. Be very sincere. Do you agree with us? It is a fact that Cameroonians who who leave this country after the education with the certificates you're talking about, they excel around the world. There. Do we agree that that's
a fact? Difference between
no, please.
Literacy.
Do we agree? Do we agree that is a fact?
That we can read and write?
No.
No, please. Let us not be ungrateful. Let us not be ungrateful. Let us not be ungrateful.
When you look at along the street, for example,
yes,
you see 1,000 or a million Toyota cars.
You don't have the microphone.
What comes into your mind? Is
Yes.
Mercedes-Benz cars are passing.
No, don't be disorderly. Do not be disorderly in making your points. No, Cyprian, you cannot be disorderly. You cannot be disorderly when you are making your points. No, Cyprian, you cannot set disorder on the
Where can you define? Where can you see in Cameroon here what education has done
that is information you are giving to the part to the candidates.
Cyprian, please, can you allow others to speak? Can you allow others to speak?
That there is a problem, and where there is. If we don't know that,
please don't make a fool of yourself now on the set. Please,
in the development process.
Please don't make a fool of yourself. You cannot hijack the whole set. You make a point, you allow others to make their point.
Luckily, some of the presidential aspirants know that our education is in decay.
There is no presidential aspirant.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. The emotions, the flow with which you speak is an indication that you are bitter. You are also a product of the system. Yes. And so when you are pointing a finger...
Please.
So I think the Cameroon educational system is not as bad as you are painting it, let alone the private educational system. Our topic today is the rule of the private education.
And then that's why I'm saying that you come
listen to others. You cannot come and set this order on a set. You respect yourself. We respect you. That's why we even allow you to speak and then create this order. So you should at least allow others to speak. It is simple. You make a ridicule of yourself by being that emotional, whatever the case. Simply, you control yourself and then you listen to others.
Well, yes, please. Thank you very much.
Yes, you were talking about it is established that we have an educational system.
I would want to collaborate to concord that most of the students who study in Cameroon and have ability to move out of the country, they excel in flying colors out there where they go to, which is an indication, a pointer, that our educational system prepares them better to face the challenges of the outside world. We might not be very much into technology and hands-on education, but I think the trend is changing. Chimen mentioned that before 2019, there were no technical schools this side of the Mongo. But I bet you we had Ombe, we had technical schools, English technical schools in the other side of the Mongo. Now we're having it this other way. An indication that the children do not have the opportunity to offer technical education, which is the education that will take Cameroon out of this normal grammar education. Technical education is the hands-on education that we need now. And so most schools, if we want to change the narrative, should go in more for technical and professional education than just general education as such.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to...
You are Cameroon Digital Education Network.
Yes, sir.
That's your focus.
Yes, sir.
How do you factor this in private education in Cameroon?
Yeah, our main focus for now is the private sector. We are still working on hoping to write a proposal with time, and we forward to the government on how we can really bring in this digitalization. You know,
we already have digitalization. You may only have to enforce it or to empower it.
Yeah, that's why I say we are watching. That's why I say for now, I'm focused with the private. Like, we are trying to train the teachers to be able to, you know, we are in the generation, or we're in a system now where almost all our students from probably from 4 or 5, at least half of them, they have access to Android gadgets or smart gadgets. And they spend all their times on social media. But we are supposed to utilize this. Now, Prince here spoke about the issue
You are
of...
talking about using that in private sector. They are also using it.
Yeah, I want to link it to something, sir.
Yes. In the public sector, during this crisis, that's what the ministries of
distance learning,
and that is what
that is not enough. The distance learning for me
that's already something.
I want to say that.
Yes.
If we are able to digitalize our lessons to get these students understand, because we are talking about out there and we are excelling, but at the same time, I want to say these same students, when they live here, they go out there, they see some of these equipment that have already been learning, that have written, that have defined them, but they are unable to recognize them. So it's high time now for the teachers to understand that instead of just telling a child what a microscope is, the teacher should be talking with some visibility. A child should be, even if the school does not have equipment to tell the child to come and touch and feel it, but the child should be able to see it at a tender age. Seeing that alone is okay. Now, I wanted to key in a bit, please, to what the principal was trying to mention, and you quoted 200, 500.
Yes, before you go there, that's another thing. You're talking about making digitalization a reality in schools. Do you know about intelligent classrooms?
Yes.
What do you know about intelligent classrooms?
Intelligent classrooms, we will link into the AI model that is coming up also powerfully now.
Have you heard about the intelligent classroom?
Yes.
What is it all about?
It's just like he has said, that it's the internet making it accompany the children not only in classrooms, but right back home.
Yes.
Because even at home, in my school, we work with the children, give assignments, they indicate their presence, they start working on it, they ask questions, we answer back. And just to add that, many private institutions have opened many doors to young people and given them opportunities for skill-based education,
yes,
that they have hands-on, and it is helping them to be able to have these opportunities which otherwise they wouldn't have. Because a child who already knows how to manipulate his computer, a child who can do not only on-site but remote learning, comes out stronger than the child who only sits in the classroom and who most probably has never seen a computer.
Yes,
or
we are going to reach out with plea to go and meet the Minister of Secondary Education, because we know that she is developing the concept of the intelligent classroom, and probably if she accepts to communicate on this, I will invite some of you to come around and invite her to come around and let Cameroonians know about this new concept of intelligent classrooms. Now, we have 4 minutes to go to the end of this program, and all of us here, the 4 of us come from Southwest, Northwest. We know the situation in that part of the country since 2016. We are starting another school year, and the situation there, we need to make our voices heard about the back to school in those areas. So what is your call for effective back to school in Northwest, Southwest?
Thank you very much. I want to appeal to Cameroonians, to my fellow brothers and sisters in the Northwest and Southwest regions, and to Cameroonians as a whole. The basic necessity for children is to be educated. If you see that in the 2018, when the crises were at the apex in those regions, schools still went on, they wrote exams, and children passed. Unfortunately, others were kept behind and did not have opportunity to go to school. Imagine a boy of 20 going to Form 3. It's really bizarre. We cannot have a successful nation without education. Education should be kept out of it and let children go to school. No matter the situation, let us give an opportunity for every child to be educated. Because if you are not educated, you cannot fit in the present and future dispensation in society.
It is a very difficult situation. You lived it as
principal of
as
government
principal
Medical High School,
Bamenda, you went
for
through
3 years.
You went through a lot.
Yes.
You were kidnapped. Were you kidnapped?
I was not kidnapped.
But yeah, you were not kidnapped.
I was
but you-
stifled and
Yeah.
threatened and whatever thing. My vice principals and my teachers were kidnapped at every hour.
So you lived that situation.
Yes.
What is your message to the Northwest and Southwest as a general, and to those who are obstructing schools to operate?
My message will go first to those who are obstructing schools to go ahead, because they themselves are seeing the need for their children to be educated. Most of those who are obstructing schools from taking off, from moving on, have their children in Yaoundé, Bawusam, Douala, and other parts of the country. And then those who are not opportune to send their children out of the villages are being deprived of education. If you know and you have sent your child out of your village to go to any other part of Cameroon to go to school, let your conscience start talking to you that what I'm doing is not correct. Because a child of 17 who cannot read and write is a danger to the republic and to you, the father. Because we have found child soldiers with guns, 16, 12. And then to those who are out there struggling that schools go on, especially the principals of the Northwest region, as well as the teachers and parents, I want to say courage. Let's keep praying. Let's keep educating. Let's keep conscientizing. Let's keep encouraging those of our children who think that the bushes are the best places for them. Let them come out, because we are not seeing any gain. They are being killed. They're killing one another.
Cyprian.
Yes, for me, I would think political aspirants, as they are campaigning, they should take this issue seriously and assure Cameroonians that if any of them wins this election, the educational system in this country will change. It will be used as a bedrock for national development and not a place where people go in to play pranks.
And what I know, Jones, is that we have heard about political wars, political crises, conflicts, wars around the world, but in those areas, education has not been touched. What is wrong with us in Cameroon? What is your message to our brothers and sisters who are doing this? Okay. You are here, I am here. All of us are here because we went to school.
Exactly. My message first, I want to first of all plead with our politicians that they should think about a way to solve this problem, because if this problem is solved, the Anglophone crisis, if it is being addressed, I think it's going to automatically stop this problem. That's what I'm pleading to the parliamentarians who are presently on seat, that when they go to the House, the National Assembly or to the Senate, they should look for a way out to this problem. 1. 2, I want to key up from the late Cardinal Tumi, who, when he was kidnapped, he said, they can discuss any other thing about the crisis, but if it's about stopping schools, he is not part of it. I want to equally key from Fabrice Lena, my brother, who has been pleading to our brothers down there in Ground Zero with the weapons that please allow these children to go to school. Those who are in the diaspora, their children are there. We see how they are graduating every day, but they are stopping our own brothers and sisters here from going to school. We are pleading that please, without education, we will not succeed. Without education, Cameroon will never emerge. Without education, Cameroon will not be the place that we want it to be.
Thank you so
please,
much. Thank you so much.
Parents, we understand that you are your best security, but please let these children go to school.
Edward, how prepared are you to start in a week's time?
Yes, Christian Comprehensive Secondary School, Kolmbong, to the Yaoundé, is very, very prepared for the kickstart of the 2025-2026 academic year. Yesterday, we had our administrative meeting and all mechanisms have been put in place. The teachers have a retreat on Friday, and the children are coming in on the 7th, and classes begin on the 8th with everything prepared.
How prepared are you?
Very, very prepared.
Yes.
We have made a list of everything that the school needs for this academic year, and our proprietors are putting everything from the laboratory right down to the infirmary. So from Monday the 8th, the students will come in and meet everything as it's supposed to be, because we want to give the children the best. Even their computers have been reworked on, and viruses cleaned and antiviruses put in place.
Thank you so much, and I think that your voice is the voice of other principals and other teachers from all the other schools around the country. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we had time for you on Press Hour today. Thank you. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Mr. Kina.